Okay, real quick with Tesla here. I saw that it was moving down kind of quickly. It really was going quickly. And I saw that I wanted to make a play on this low of yesterday. It was the low of yesterday line here. And I wanted to see what was going to happen here. It hit it, came back up, and started to go down. I said, all right, this candle, the top of this candle, can be a quick little, short little stop loss. And I entered in as soon as it broke below that candle. I would have got out if it popped back up. I probably should have taken my 1-to-1. It got almost 2-to-1 on this pintail down. And it came back up and I stopped out. I saw another pintail test of that low of yesterday, and I wanted to jump in right here, but I accidentally put a limit order instead of a market order, and I didn't get the fill that I wanted. And it almost hit my first target down here, but then it started to come back up. So I just took what I could take. I took what I could take. This was an accidental trade. I forgot I had the stop loss in place, and it went long on me, and probably should have held it, but I'm not going to hold accidental trades whether they work or not. But that was the trading on NVIDIA today. I'm going to take one more trade on NVIDIA. I'm hoping that I understand this a little bit better. It looks like it's basically in a downtrend here. I think this is a supply area with all these pintails right here. Can't get up over the high. This is the high of the day. It immediately went down when at the open. It tried a couple of times to get up over here and put on these huge pintails. So my stop is above that, above the high of the day, above these pintails with a 1-to-1 target near the low of the day. So hopefully that will work. Let's see what happens with the NVIDIA trade today. Okay, how did that NVIDIA trade turn out? Any trader's worst nightmare. It comes all the way up, hits my stop, and immediately goes back in the direction that I want. This is normal, and it's the reason why day traders quit. Dealing with frustration, dealing with losses, dealing with failure, dealing with impossible situations that you can't control, and learning how to keep going forward is what makes us good traders. So I'm glad that I kept my stop loss there, and I'm glad that I had my profit target set, and I'm actually glad that I experienced this and I'm able to deal with my emotions, thank God. So until that happens, we're never going to be able to trade professionally. And plus we have to realize, on this kind of volume with that happening, and then the reversal of just pouring out blood tells me that there was a lot of stops. A lot of people had this idea who got taken out right up here. I'm not the only one. You have to remember, you're not the only one that has this idea. And so the universe or God is not necessarily picking on you. It's just the way it is, and we have to overcome these obstacles. All right, this is my 2-try sell situation here. You got 2 tries to sell. It keeps breaking trend lines, developing sideways, tries to sell off a couple of times. And the first entry over here was a stop out, ticked right underneath, got me, and went right up strongly. And so I jumped back in it because it closed again over the next trend line and the moving averages, and my stop loss is again below the low of the day. Now, why am I doing it again? You had to see this behavior of these candles right here. They really went up strongly. It's worth for me another try. And if it comes back down and stops me out again, then I will probably stop trading this today. I'm not sure if I'm looking at this right. I guess we'll find out. But the strong volume of selling that was taking place right here, the big candles, was this area right here. And now it's come back up into that area and it's selling off again. Except the volume doesn't appear to be as strong. So I'm going to see how this develops. If I'm reading this right, then hopefully we should get a bounce maybe after 50% of this pullback, because this was a nice, strong impulse wave. Let's see what happens at 50%. And according to the volume, it should bounce in that area. We'll see. Okay, and the fact that it only came down to 38% and not quite 50 is a good sign, really. But it's going to have to chip through this volume here. And it's got a long ways to go, in my opinion. If the volume has finally ran out and we're starting to see an increase, the selling volume, if we're starting to see an increase like we had here, then we should make a run back up to the high here, hopefully. We should make a run back up to the high here, hopefully. So I'm hoping that that happens. I hope I'm reading this right. I guess we'll see as it unfolds. All right, we'll see what this is. A little battle zone, big time battle zone here. That candle right there had some pretty high volume of selling right there. All right, and very interesting to see this little area. Let's see how over here as well. Tried to sell off right here, was unable to. So the exchange area seems to be right in through here. We could draw a box right here. We want to see what happens, and that's where it tipped into, isn't it? Okay, so it tipped right into that area right there, and now it's testing to come down. So let's keep on watching here to see what happens. It's very interesting to watch this. All right, it needs to make a higher low here, or it's just going to come stop me out. And like I said, I'm going to stop trading today because I'm not getting it right. And just observe how it all plays out, and try to get a better interpretation or perception of what's taking place. As we know, anything can happen in the markets, and even the best trade setups and the best analysis can fail. So I'm looking to learn how to keep my stop loss in place, and also be patient. And we'll see what happens here in just a moment. Alrighty, looks like it stopped me out, and I'm grateful to learn that, to be patient, and to also deal with my emotions and not revenge trade. I'm done trading for the day. I'm going to spend more time studying my trades than actually trading itself. I think that's important, and so that's how I'm going to get better by the grace of God. So thank you, Lord. I'll see you on the next video. Peace. All right, let's wrap up this day with the Mara trade, M-A-R-A. It did gap down, and it continued to go down a little bit, just enough for one quick trade. I'm so grateful for that. Let's take a look at the overall daily chart. Closed yesterday up here, way up here, and gapped down here. And it just has been going up ever since. I did get a trade out of it, though, and I want to talk about that successful trade. Here is yesterday's close in this candle right here, and then boom, first hour of this day, it opened way down here, and it's been going up. I caught a trade on this pintail. That's the hourly chart. Let's look at that trade. Gap and go. When something gaps down, we're looking for price to come up towards the close of the previous day and get weak and roll down, and that is the gap and go, or gap and go. And it has to do with a failure to retrace to the close. And so here it is, it gapped right here. That's the pre-market. It went down, it came up, put in some pintails, red candles at the moving averages, started to get weak. As I come to it right about here, I waited for it to come up. I shorted right here, and we tried to go as low as we could, and we exited down here. I'm very happy with this gap and go trade. I think this is perfect. I said I wasn't going to take another trade on Tesla, and I took a short right here, and it looked good. Looks good for a short. This is the hourly chart. Looks good for a short. You know, it looks good for a short, and it's doing good. Problem is, I'm over trading, and I'm getting tired, and you're not making clear decisions. So I was just holding it, and all of a sudden it came back up to where I got in, and I got out because of my indecisiveness, being tired, and breaking my word about stop trading for the day. And I got out, and then it goes right back in my favor. And I just want to make a note that when I say that I'm going to stop trading for the day, I need to keep that. There's a reason why I trade with minimal amount of trades, so I can study the trades that I'm studying. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be a trade that you missed. There's always going to be an opportunity out there. You don't need to catch everything. And the frustration of, having this stop me out for break even and then go in the right direction is what I want to note on this video, because it's important that we deal with that stuff as well.